Welcome back to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba, and we've got Damon Burton, President, SEO National, SEOnational.com. All right, Damon, welcome to the club. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good.
All right, I'm glad you're here. All right, you have a leading consultancy for businesses wanting to increase revenue and with search engine optimization. I was dealing with this subject this morning. I'll be dealing with this subject again tomorrow and the day after and the day after. I want you to give us some background, some color on yourself, and then I really got a lot of questions for you.
Sure, yeah. So I've been in this space since about 99 when I started doing design on the side. That evolved where I wanted to monetize it myself, so I learned the ins and outs and then picked it up as a side hustle and then made the leap of faith and been fortunate enough where it's gone good. I'm 10 years under my belt now as a business owner and got a crew of about a dozen, so it's going good.
All right. Biggest SEO mistakes businesses make and how to correct them.
Expectations. People think that SEO is either going to be fast, easy, or cheap, and it's none of the above. So you really got to be committing to at least a year in most industries and often longer in really competitive spaces.
What about some tools to optimize your website, things that people can start with for free and get off the ground?
The go-to is Google Analytics. Google offers it as a free reporting tool so you can kind of get an idea of the type of traffic you're getting so you can cater better to that audience. And then they also have a really good tool called Google Search Console, and that allows you to see where things are breaking in your website, how to fix it, and how to make things more readable for search engines and easier for them to digest.
What about, and I run into this a lot, repurpose content? What do we do with that?
I'm a big fan of that, so I don't know what you've heard if you like it or don't, but the more original content you can come up with, the better. So avoid hashing. Maybe I should clarify. Repurposing your own content is good.
Yeah.
Taking and scraping content from other people, don't do that. Scraping is not going to get you anywhere. But if you can really sit down and commit yourself to coming up with a content calendar of what to write about, maybe blog on a weekly basis, then you can repurpose that into all sorts of other content, whether that be infographics or videos. So if you can commit to your own good content, then repurpose that.
Talk to me about infographics and how it integrates and works better with search engine rankings.
The more diversified media you have, then Google's going to look at you as an authority. So if you have good content and then you can support that content with other rich media assets such as infographics and videos, then you can diversify your content without too much more effort. So the more diversified and authoritative content you have, then that's going to help you win the game.
Isn't there some limits on the diversification levels where it starts to reach diminishing returns? I mean, don't you have to kind of corral that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, if you can come up with a streamlined process where you kind of minimize the amount of time you invest so you kind of delay that diminishing return, a standard practice that we do is we focus on that content calendar I mentioned first.
Right.
Put a ton of time towards strategizing what you're going to come up with. Don't go with the shotgun approach. Come up with a good content calendar. And then from there, you already know whatever the blog post you wrote is good. And so when you repurpose into an infographic, it should be equally good.
What about the Google algorithmic changes that are going on? Tell us about that.
They're always going to be coming. I've had a bit of a tin hat as far as my concerns with trying to stay ahead of the curve. And the easiest way to look at it is don't try and play the game. If you know you're creating a footprint and a pattern, then Google will definitely find it. So cater your content creation and your strategy to a realistic audience. Create a blog post that somebody would care to read. Don't just stuff it full of content and gibberish and keywords for what you think is going to benefit a search engine reading it. Just kind of play the straight game and build content to real people.
So follow your passion. Follow your passion, follow your mission, and then it sounds like you're describing build it and they will come.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there's shortcuts you can take, but they're going to have short gains. The only way to survive with SEO long term is to avoid the gimmicky stuff and take. It's a slow play, but if you want to be around for a long time, you're going to have to play the slow game.
All right. Things that we should be considering when we're outsourcing our SEO.
you get what you pay for in this space. There's nothing wrong with necessarily outsourcing, but quality control who you outsource to. We've outsourced copywriters, and we've dabbled in different spaces where it benefits scalability. But I'm a huge advocate of quality control. It's not realistic to get any SEO for a couple $100 anymore. It just doesn't work. Any overseas company that's going to be doing SEO for, let's say, $300 is just cashing your checks. There's nothing that they can realistically accomplish. So when you're outsourcing, ask them questions, and transparency is key. If any SEO company tells you we have a proprietary method, as soon as they say proprietary, it's usually garbage. The more transparent they can speak to you about what they're going to do, the content they'll create for you, the links and mentions from other websites and building your brand awareness, they have to be able to illustrate clearly to you how they're going to do that. And if they can communicate clearly, then that'll minimize your risk in outsourcing.
Well, it sounds like you described two out of maybe the top three questions of things you need to ask your potential SEO outsourcing company. Am I correct, or is there something I'm missing there?
Yeah, so you want to know a couple questions to ask when outsourcing?
Well, yeah, you said ask them questions. I'm like, what are the good ones?
Ask them exactly what they're going to do with links. So a big strategy with SEO is link building, which is when another website links to you.
Right.
Links are valuable, but they can be a little sketchy area to play in. So ask them what their strategy is and how they're going to acquire the links. When they tell you what your budget is going to be, ask them specifically where that's going. With my agency, we don't do packages, as an example. We quote prices based on specifically what is needed. So if another agency says, well, you can choose from package A, B, or C, or they tell you we're going to charge you X, ask them what's involved in X and where that money goes. And then don't hesitate to ask for referrals or to go look up reviews on your own. Any good credible agency is going to have a handful of existing and past clients that they shouldn't hesitate to give some information to, where you can look up or ask for the client's feedback on the services that they provided.
If you haven't already, take a look at our website and give it, and tell us what we need.
Let me bring it up here. You want me to check it out right now?
No, not live on the air. We'll save that for later. I don't need to give the secret sauce out over the air. All right.
Sure, yeah.
We've got a couple of minutes. Do that, and I want to hear from you about that. You've got my number. Okay. Tips to successfully launch an SEO startup company. For those people that are looking to move in your direction, what would you tell them?
The first thing would be very similar to the question you asked about when you're shopping SEO. When you're starting SEO, you have to be patient. SEO is slow for your customers, so it's going to be slow for you too. So if you're getting ready to start a company, unless you have other advertising channels outside of doing your own SEO that are more immediate, such as paid advertising, it's going to be a slow process. Even us as an established agency, we don't get a new client every day. It's once a week or once a month. So for the new guys that are starting, it's going to be even fewer and far between than that. So be patient is the first thing I'd say.
All right.
Second thing would be, there's no shame in starting a side hustle, just like I did. As long as you can commit to your day job and fulfill your responsibilities, if you got the time after that, start it on the side. If you can pick up one client a month for a couple $100, that's a good start. And then the way that I made the jump is as soon as I knew I could pay my bills. I'd be taking a loss by quitting my day job and having the two incomes and going down to one, but at least I could pay my bills and then commit more of my time after that. And it works because you can dedicate so much more time afterwards to scale the new income that's coming in.
Damon?
And probably yeah.
I'm going to have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but you're going to come back. We're going to talk more about this because this is something everybody needs.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Damon Burton, President of SEO National, SEOnational.com. You've been listening to CEO Money with Michael Yorba and Ed Baxter. We'll be back tomorrow with more great content. This segment brought to you by Tycon Partners.